Hi, welcome to Fedora News. My name is Aaron, and today we'll be talking about the prevalence of roll-your-own cigarettes with young single parents and how the new trend of vaping can help kick that habit. The prevalence of smoking in single-parent households is significantly higher than amongst those with two parents, with single mother families making up the vast majority of one-parent families. Lone parenthood is associated with social economic disadvantage. Low-income single mothers experience heightened stress, loneliness, depression, and anxiety.
The strong relationship between single motherhood and smoking can be partially explained by low SAS, younger age, living alone, poor mental health, high proportion of friends who smoke, and earlier smoking initiation. However, Australian research has also shown that being a single mother is independently associated with a greater likelihood of smoking. While improving the socio-economic status, mental health, and social environment of lone mothers may help reduce smoking rates, further research is needed to better understand smoking and quitting among this group. Through the interviewing of 30 single parents, it has been concluded that across multiple surveys conducted, we have found that a larger majority of single parents fall within the 21 to 25 age gap, which represents 47%. This age correlates well with many parents around this age being employed and working full-time. We also found that just over 50% of single parents have their child between 0 to 4 years of age, and then just over 25% falling beneath the 5 to 8 age range. This also demonstrates that majority of young single parents with young kids that still require a lot of care. 50% of correspondents smoke roll-your-own products purely due to it being a cheaper alternative, while both smoking less, and better flavour made up of large majority of 40%. We also found multiple influences for their habits. The standouts are stress at 30% and also enjoyment at 25%. When we asked if they would consider vaping as an alternative, an amazing 75% would be open to giving it a go.
Today we'll meet Michelle, not only a hospitality worker, but a 28-year-old single mother who lives in a suburban 2-bedroom apartment with her 4-year-old son. Like most single mothers, she juggles the challenges of maintaining full-time work and raising a child. When given the opportunity, she likes to catch up with her longtime friends to relieve stress at the local bar for a few drinks, where she engages with social smoking. It often affects her working relationships, causing excessive stress at work, resulting in her to smoke during her breaks and continue to engage in the habit after a long day. Now we'll go over to Adam, who got the chance to chat to Michelle and talk to her about her habit.
Hi Michelle, thank you for joining us. So, how did you initially start smoking?
The first time I smoked was when I was still in high school. I used to have the occasional cigarette with my friends who smoked, but I didn't start smoking properly till a few months after I became a single mother.
What was the reason behind starting your habit? And is it still the reason you smoke? How does having your child affect your habit?
I would say it was the stress. Being a single mother of my child was a lot of work, more than I initially expected. I didn't have a lot of support at the start, so I guess I took up smoking as a way to let off some steam, or smoke if you will. It is still the main reason I smoke, but I think I actually enjoy it now. It helps me feel relaxed and have some time to myself. But at the end of the day, my son always comes first, and I ensure he's never around when I smoke.
So is there a reason you smoke roll-your-own cigarettes as opposed to tailored cigarettes?
I initially started off smoking tailored cigarettes, but moved on to roll-your-own cigarettes. The reason was that they were cheaper and I would smoke less because the cigarettes were smaller. I moved on to roll-your-own when I started working. I don't get a lot of time for my break, so it limits how many cigarettes I actually have a day. But sometimes when work gets stressful, I often find myself having a few more after work.
So Michelle, would you say you smoke a lot in social situations?
Yes, unfortunately. I rarely get a chance to catch up with old friends, so when I can actually organise a babysitter for the little one, we often go to the local bar and have a few drinks. I find it very relaxing and a nice break from being a full-time waitress and mother. We often get carried away and I find myself smoking almost all of my pouch, probably because we all sit around talking about the stressful nature of our lives.
Where do you usually purchase your cigarettes from?
I usually buy another pouch immediately after I finish the previous one. It has gotten to the point where I always have one on me. I make sure I have it with me. It's like a second phone, which I'm not entirely proud of. I usually buy them at the milk bar. There's one at my train station at work as well as the train station near my house. It's pretty convenient because I'm always either at home or at work when I finish and dispose of my previous pouch.
Well, I'd like to thank you once more for joining us today, Michelle.
Thanks for having me.
Now we'll go back to Adam. He recently got the opportunity to sit down with Professor Matthew Brown from the Central University of Queensland, who has recently done a study on addictive behaviours.
Hi Matthew, thank you for your time today. We're here to discuss how vaping can be used as a means to stop consuming roll your own products. Hopefully with your insight, we can examine how we can change the perception of the action of smoking to consuming and purchasing e-cigarettes and vaping flavours as a result to a change in attitude and behaviour.
Hi, and thank you for having me. I do strongly believe that vaping is a great avenue to quit roll your own products. Research will support that today.
So, we asked over 30 single parents under the age of 35, who do all have young children, if they would consider vaping as an alternative. 75% of them said they would. Why is this?
The results do not surprise me. The Journal of Drugs, Education, Prevention and Policy conducted interviews to see exactly why people consider vaping. Most cited that it is less harmful, and the initial interest was to try out the vaping experience.
Is it really less harmful than consuming roll your own products? What draws interest to the vaping experience?
Indeed it is. While many people acknowledge that the action is very similar, but visually similar to that of smoking, you are no longer inhaling the horrific tobacco and nasty effects that go along with it, but instead inhaling vaporized liquid. This is what the experience of vaping is all about. They have a wide range of flavours in which they can select from, even tobacco flavour if they choose to.
Now, many people would argue that the pleasure derived from smoking due to its nicotine will not be the same brought through vaping. What insight can you provide into this aspect?
People derive vaping as having your cake and eating it too. Nicotine withdrawal itself was not a reason for continuing to take part in vaping, but rather the pleasure derived from the sensory experience that it entails. It also has the feeling of being healthier. Vaping is a prime motivator to quit smoking and improve their quality of life, not only for themselves, but for that of their kids as well.
Now, I understand that you did your own research in addictive behaviours. Would you say that people who take up vaping are just substituting their addiction?
There has been no indication of addiction that is applicable to that of vaping. We found that dependence does not increase with your vaping number of years consumed, unlike that of dependence when smoking. Smoking dependence is caused by nicotine through negative reinforcement, whereas vaping rather has the effect of positive reinforcement. It is driven by motivation and positive reinforcement factors.
What drives the motivation? What factors do they consider when deciding to make a change?
Most people are motivated purely because vaping is a pragmatic tool to quit smoking. They consider it as medicine to address their smoking addiction rather than through the use of nicotine patches. This has even resulted in increasing vaping purchases. Most began vaping in the midst of social contacts with friends, and a major factor was that it added an element of fun while producing a lack of offensive smell.
Now, earlier I spoke to Michelle, who was a single mother with a young child. She currently consumes roll your own products. We have discussed how vaping can be used as an alternative, but what are the subsequent effects of making such a lifestyle change?
First and foremost, they will perceive vaping as a healthy habit and relate smoking roll your own products as a nasty addiction. Due to the constant exposure from different flavours while being out with friends, they will enjoy the versatility and the fun it can provide, along with the health benefits they'll reap from it. They will even reduce excessive cost from roll your own products and no longer be placing their kids in harm's way.
What will happen if one does become stressed and feels the urge to smoke? What impact does vaping have on their learning and memory?
When placed in stressful situations, they will now be conditioned to vape as a response. Vaping will still relieve stress due to the same inhaling motion as a result. In addition, provide pleasure through its sensory experience by providing joy, knowing it's a healthier option in regard to that of their previous habit, which was consuming roll your own products.
So after being exposed to the new world of vaping, how does this new conditioned response affect their attitude and their behaviour?
Their beliefs on smoking have now changed. They believe that smoking is seen as an addiction rather than a habit, and also is offensive to those around them. Instead, now they believe that vaping is a hobby and a means to have fun while reducing their levels of stress. Their feelings have also changed due to pleasure derived from vaping while feeling healthier. They now feel that vaping is the right thing to do and share it amongst their peers, where they can not only socialise but intend to help those looking to eliminate roll your own products from their lives.
Well, thank you very much for your time today, Matthew. We hope that your insight on vaping and expertise in addictive behaviours helps not only Michelle but to all the young single mothers out there.
The pleasure has been all mine. I encourage everyone smoking to make the change and pick up an e-cigarette.
Young single parents have struggled with life's challenges and have fallen into the trap of consuming roll your own cigarettes to relieve stress. We believe now is the time to make the change to vaping. They will increase the quality of life for both the parent and their child. Reducing further costs will allow them to be more financially stable and spend their money on the more important aspects of their lives. By changing the way we view vaping, it will open up a whole new world of enjoyment amongst peers, while being able to maintain the same action of inhaling as a means to reduce stress. So we ask you, why roll your own when you can vape? Thank you, this has been a Fedora News Story.